Have you ever thought about how freeing it can be to cut toxic people out of your life? Toxic people can be draining, and being around them can make you feel like you're stuck in a never-ending cycle of negativity. But what if I told you that distancing yourself from these people can be incredibly liberating? In this video, we're going to explore the benefits of standing alone and how it can lead to a life of freedom and empowerment. When you're surrounded by toxic people, it's easy to lose yourself in their drama and negativity. But when you take a step back and create some distance, you start to realize that you don't have to be defined by their opinions or actions. You start to break free from the toxic cycle and focus on what truly matters, your own happiness and well-being. Distancing yourself from toxic people isn't about being antisocial or avoiding relationships altogether. It's about being mindful of the people you surround yourself with and choosing to invest your time and energy in those who uplift and support you. It's about taking back control of your life and making conscious decisions about who you want to be around. By standing alone, you're not only taking a stand against toxicity, but you're also opening yourself up to a world of possibilities and opportunities. You're giving yourself the chance to grow, learn, and thrive in a way that's authentic and meaningful to you. Let's dive into the benefits of standing alone, starting with the first one, improved mental health. When you're around toxic people, it's easy to feel anxious, stressed, and overwhelmed. But when you distance yourself from them, you start to feel a weight lifting off your shoulders. You start to breathe easier, think clearer, and feel more at peace. Being around toxic people can be like living in a constant state of vigilance. You're always on edge, waiting for the other shoe to drop. But when you're alone, you can finally relax and be yourself without fear of judgment or criticism. You can let your guard down and just be. The absence of toxic people in your life can be incredibly liberating, and it's not just about avoiding negativity, it's about embracing positivity and focusing on what makes you happy. When you're not surrounded by people who bring you down, you start to realize what truly brings you joy and fulfillment. You start to appreciate the little things, like taking a walk outside, reading a book, or simply enjoying a cup of coffee in peace. You start to appreciate the beauty of solitude and the freedom to make your own choices and decisions. The second benefit of standing alone is enhanced self-esteem. When you're around toxic people, it's easy to get caught up in their negative opinions and criticisms. But when you're alone, you start to focus on your own self-worth and what makes you unique and valuable. You start to realize that your worth isn't defined by someone else's opinions or actions. It's defined by your own strengths, weaknesses, and accomplishments. You start to focus on building yourself up rather than tearing yourself down. Without the constant negativity and criticism, you start to see yourself in a more positive light. You start to appreciate your own strengths and accomplishments, and you start to feel more confident and self-assured. Standing alone allows you to break free from the negative reinforcement that can come with toxic relationships. You're no longer held back by someone else's opinions or expectations. You're free to be yourself and make your own choices. The third benefit of standing alone is clearer decision-making. When you're around toxic people, it's easy to get caught up in their drama and opinions. But when you're alone, you start to think more clearly and make decisions that are in your best interest. You start to tune out the noise and focus on what truly matters. You start to trust your own instincts and make choices that align with your values and goals. You start to feel more confident and self-assured, and you start to make decisions that truly reflect who you are and what you want. Without the influence of toxic people, you start to think more critically and make decisions that are based on facts rather than emotions or opinions. You start to see things more clearly, and you start to make choices that truly reflect your best interests. The fourth benefit of standing alone is increased personal growth. When you're alone, you have the opportunity to focus on yourself and your own growth and development. You start to explore your own interests and passions, and you start to discover what truly makes you happy and fulfilled. You start to take risks and try new things, and you start to learn and grow at an incredible rate. Without the distraction of toxic people, you start to focus on your own strengths and weaknesses, and you start to work on building yourself up. You start to become more self-aware, and you start to develop a deeper understanding of yourself and your place in the world. The fifth benefit of standing alone is more authentic relationships. When you're not surrounded by toxic people, you start to attract people who are positive, supportive, and uplifting. You start to build relationships that are based on mutual respect and trust, rather than drama and negativity. You start to surround yourself with people who truly care about you and your well-being, and you start to feel more connected and supported. You start to realize that true relationships are based on shared values and interests, rather than shared drama and trauma. You start to focus on building meaningful connections with others, and you start to feel more loved and appreciated. The sixth benefit of standing alone is the freedom to pursue your passions. When you're not held back by toxic people, you start to have the time and energy to focus on what truly matters to you. You start to pursue your dreams and goals, and you start to make progress towards the life you truly want. You start to feel more fulfilled and satisfied, and you start to live a life that's truly authentic and meaningful to you. You start to explore your own creativity and interests, and you start to discover new passions and hobbies. You start to feel more alive and energized, and you start to live a life that's truly your own. The seventh and final benefit of standing alone is strength and resilience. When you're not shielded by toxic people, you start to develop coping skills and strategies that help you navigate life's challenges. You start to build character and perseverance, and you start to develop a growth mindset that helps you overcome obstacles and setbacks. You start to feel more confident and self-assured, and you start to tackle challenges head-on. You start to realize that you're capable of overcoming anything, and you start to feel more empowered and in control. You start to live a life that's truly your own, and you start to feel more fulfilled and satisfied. In conclusion, standing alone from toxic people can be incredibly liberating and empowering. It's not about avoiding relationships or being antisocial. It's about taking back control of your life and making conscious decisions about who you want to surround yourself with. By distancing yourself from toxic people, you start to experience a sense of freedom and empowerment that's hard to find in toxic relationships. You start to live a life that's truly authentic and meaningful to you, and you start to feel more happy, fulfilled, and satisfied. So, I want to leave you with a question. Have you ever felt trapped in a toxic relationship or situation? Share your experiences in the comments below, and let's support each other on our journey towards personal empowerment. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and we'll catch you in the next video.